The group is hanging out in a cafe, and we can hear some people whispering about Daniel's good looks. Then, we see three guys giving them really mean glares. Zach notices and glares back at them. They keep staring at each other until he finally speaks up. Zach grumbles about how there are too many arrogant guys around. Vasco asks Zach if he can have another milk, but Zach declines. Daniel starts to sweat a lot because of the intense looks from the three guys across the room. Zach suggests they should just deal with those guys, but Vasco tells him to chill out. Zach glances out the window and is surprised to see Yui, Mira, and Namsu outside. He jumps up and tells Vasco and Daniel he'll be right back. He calls out to them, and they all turn around. Zach asks Mira what she's doing there. Yui says that once Zach is done, they can go to karaoke. Mira mentions she needs to grab a book from the bookstore, but can join them for karaoke afterward. Zach blushes a bit and says he'd love to go. Just then, he hears a voice behind him. It's the three guys from the cafe who were giving him dirty looks. The middle guy tells Zach to follow him into an alley for a chat. Zach tries to act cool, claiming they've mistaken him for someone else and that he's never met them before. The two guys with him are busy checking out the two girls by his side. Suddenly, the gang leader shows up with his not-so-pleased girlfriend. Namsu yells at Zach, telling him it's the guy who stole his money, but before Zach can even react, the leader punches him right in the face. Dazed and confused, Zach struggles as the leader throws another punch, and then another. Zach ends up on the ground, defeated. The leader looks down at him and asks if he brought any friends to help him out. Just then, Mira throws a rock at the leader and yells at him, demanding to know why he had to hit Zach before he could even turn around. The leader thinks Mira is cute, and if his girlfriend Harry wasn't there, he could have had some fun with her. He then walks away, saying he has other things to do, and warns them to never show their faces to him again. Mira starts yelling at the top of her lungs, urging anyone to report them, hoping someone will hear and call the police. Zach grabs Mira's ankle and tells her to be quiet. He feels bad for her having to witness him getting hurt. Zach then asks Namsu how long they have until they meet up with the gang for the fake product, and Namsu replies that they have 20 minutes. Zach watches the gang leave and quietly says under his breath that this isn't over yet. The gang is shown waiting for the shoe buyer to show up. When the clock hits 3 o'clock, Vasco, Daniel, and Zach come around the corner. The gang leader is surprised to see Zach again and asks if he brought friends this time. He tells his gang that Zach is the one he beat up before, and they all start laughing. Vasco steps forward, but Zach stops him, saying he wants to make the first move. He challenges the three gang members to come forward. The leader laughs at Zach, saying he finds him funny. He brags about being a national judo fighter and asks everyone how old they are, just as Zach starts to answer. Suddenly, one of the gang members tries to kick high, but Zach is quick this time, and dodges it completely. He grabs the guy's face and slams him into the wall, knocking him out cold, which surprises everyone around. Zach then challenges the gang to send out their next fighter. He stumbles a bit, and Vasco notices that Zach is getting tired. Vasco asks for a turn, but Zach refuses, insisting he needs to finish what he started. Next up is the sumo wrestler, who thinks that if he can just catch Zach once, it will be game over for him. He tries to grab Zach but misses. He tries again and misses. On the third try, he still misses. Zach keeps dodging all of the sumo wrestler's attacks. The wrestler thinks to himself that Zach is faster than their leader. Then, Zach slips between the wrestler's arms and delivers a solid punch right to his face. The bandana guy looks shocked as one by one, his gang members are taken down by just one person. Zach calls out for the leader now. Vasco notices that Zach isn't doing too well. His knees are shaking, and he can't keep his guard up for long. He thinks this might be the end for Zach, but he knows Zach won't just stand there forever. He's waiting for the perfect moment to hit the leader and take him down with one punch. Zach gets his hand ready, and Daniel sees what he's doing. Suddenly, he throws a powerful punch to the solar plexus, sending the bandana man crashing to the ground. Zach looks down at the leader and says that being in the Nationals means nothing to him. He taunts the leader, asking how it feels to be on the ground in pain. Zach feels proud that he has finally regained his honor for Mira. Just then, a large group of men arrives, surprising everyone in Daniel's group. The leader warns them that they are in serious trouble since they are the most powerful group in town. Zach thinks to himself that he can't take on those guys alone, but Vasco raises his hand, telling him to take a break because he can handle it. Some members of the rival gang start to whisper among themselves, noticing Vasco's beard and tattoo, and they begin to think he's an adult who belongs to a real and dangerous gang. Vasco then turns to Daniel and tells him to watch his back. He explains that he needs to push through the crowd, so Daniel just has to stick close to him. Suddenly, a voice interrupts, telling Vasco that the boss should always come out last. It's the Bare Knuckles crew, here to back up Vasco for a fair fight. The leader recognizes their jacket emblem and realizes they are from the freshman monster gang from the east. It's the Burn Knuckles, the leader says, distressed. The leader feels more and more anxious as the bare knuckle fighters start to overpower his gang, taking control one by one. Vasco turns to Jace and asks how he knew he was there. Jace replies that their friendship allows them to communicate through telepathy. Vasco is touched by this, but the truth is, Jace just put a phone tracker on Vasco's device. Suddenly, a sumo wrestler sneaks up behind Vasco and threatens him, saying he'll crush his shoulders if he doesn't stop the fighting. Vasco quickly breaks free from the wrestler's grip and turns to face him. He places a hand on the wrestler's shoulder and starts to squeeze, causing the sumo wrestler to collapse in pain. The leader is shocked that their strongest fighter was taken down so easily. Just then, he gets a text saying that the rest of the gang has also been defeated. We switch scenes to Jay, who is smoking a cigarette. A flashback shows him cruising around until he overhears some students talking about a fight involving 3 guys. They encourage each other, saying that once they jump into the battle, victory is guaranteed. In the next scene, we see everyone sprawled out on the ground, while Jay smokes a cigarette, completely unharmed. We return to the main fight, where the leader charges straight at Daniel. He knows Zach and Vasco are tough, but since he hasn't seen Daniel in action yet, he thinks Daniel is just too scared to fight and weak. However, as he gets closer, he notices that everyone seems calm. Vasco is relaxed, and Zach is steady. The leader throws a left punch, but Daniel skillfully dodges it. He attempts the same combo he used against Gangnam, but now he's in his bigger form, giving him extra strength and reach. He throws a right punch to create some space, then steps in, bends his arm at a right angle, and delivers a powerful hook to the leader's stomach, not giving him a moment to recover. Daniel follows up with a straight punch, the same one he tried on the power machine before, but missed. A tooth flies out of the leader's mouth and his gang falls silent after Daniel's hit. Zach thinks to himself that Daniel is definitely a boxing pro. Vasco is shocked as he recalls seeing that same shape with little Daniel. He notices that their postures and habits are exactly alike, almost like they are the same person. This makes him curious about the link between the 2 Daniels. Harry rushes over to her boyfriend to check if he's all right. Vasco looks down at him and reminds him to take care of his girl because love shouldn't be taken for granted. With that moment, the gang fight comes to an end. Meanwhile, Gunn is sitting in a car, having been contacted by someone to step in if the fight got too out of hand for Daniel. He's surprised that the Bare Knuckles won the fight and is also impressed by Daniel's fighting skills. He now gets why he was told to keep an eye on him. The next day at school, Zach asks Daniel if he's a boxer because he wants to have another fight, but this time with headgear on. Daniel says no, and Zach calls him mean. Jiho notices that Zach is wearing the new shoes and feels jealous that he got them for just $300.